What is that?
Don't worry, it's Sonic 06 related.
Okay. Hey everyone, Zion over here from Nintendo Life, and today we're doing a special thing. We're in Los Angeles, California for Summer Game Fest, and today I'm joined by Alana Higgs, our deputy editor, and we just did a thing in relation to this fella, didn't we?
This guy, yeah, just, Shadow's back. It's Year of the Shadow, everyone, and Sonic Shadow Generations is out October 25th, and we got to play it, so...
Not the Switch version. We've played it on PS5.
Yep.
So, and we have a bunch of B-roll that they've sent us that you'll be able to see through this video. And there's some footage here of us like playing here and there. And we got to do 2 levels of just like the Sonic Generations, right? Of
Yep.
Green Hill Zone.
Yep.
But the meat of it, which you like, I mean, I really liked it a lot. We both have big things to say about it.
That's true.
But the meat of it really was like the Shadow the Hedgehog kind of like, do you think I mean, maybe it's hard to say, but it feels like it's going to be like a new campaign
Pretty
or
much.
something.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Like for the demo version, at least, the Sonic levels and the Shadow levels were separate. They were on 2 separate menus, and it feels like a very separate thing. The Sonic levels, as Zion said, they're all Green Hill Zone, so which fine, I guess. Like, we know what Green Hill's like, but the thing to note is that if you've never played Generations before, Green Hill does feel very different, even like as classic and as modern Sonic, I think. Like, it doesn't feel like, oh, this is Green Hill from Sonic Mania or like any other iteration of it. So yeah, it's still the same great game on PS3 and 360 and 3DS too. But yeah, the Shadow stuff is the new stuff, and we both had a pretty good time with it, I'd say.
Yeah. And like you were saying too, like, I mean, I'm no FPS expert, but it did seem like it was running at 60 FPS on PS5, which is nice.
On PS5 for sure, yeah. I'm not sure how it will run on Switch because there were no versions Switch playable.
Sure.
But I really hope that it manages to pull through because it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, they've done a really good job of like making Generations is one of the best looking PS3 games anyway.
Yeah.
But
you and I, like, we both grew up playing, or I shouldn't say grew up, but like, had it back in the day when it launched, and at the time, like, it did feel like one of the best Sonic games because it felt like the modern age and the classic was represented, kind of like for the first time beyond like Sonic the Hedgehog 4, which was like very kind of maligned and
pretty much, It was like the marriage of like 2 generations of Sonic coming together, and like it kind of made both sides happy. It represented some levels that from games that not everybody loves as well, but it made them really fun and interesting. Yeah, like Sonic Generations is just like a really consistent experience. But let's talk about our boy Shadow.
True. Yeah. And the nice thing too is that like it's so Sonic Adventure focused, like you were saying, right?
Yeah, the 2 levels we got to play are the Space Colony Arc, which is essentially in Generations, it's like a mix of every space level from Sonic Adventure 2. So Crazy Gadget, which is one of Sonic's levels where you can shift the gravity. We had some of those sections in the Shadow level where you ran up to a wall and you could like jump and he would like stick to the wall on the side. And then you've got like sections of Final Chase, which is Shadow's very last level with all the grind rails in the middle of space. And the explosions and things like that. So it was such a really cool like celebration of like Sonic Generation or Sonic Adventure 2's like level structure. It's really fun.
And it wasn't like those sections where like just 30 seconds either. This wasn't like your standard like 2-minute Sonic level either. It was like I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes. I think
I think I definitely hit 5 minutes, and that was just like exploring, running through, doing as much as I could in that level. But I didn't feel like I was like going too far off the beaten path. Like I was going through it at a pretty brisk pace. But yeah, it felt like an end game Sonic Adventure level, which they are that long, really. But it really
that's a good point. Yeah,
it really captures that like spirit of Sonic Adventure 2 to me. That was like the thing that really jumped out in both levels, because the second level was this was in the 3DS version of the game.
The Bio-Lizard, right?
Yeah, there's a boss fight with the Bio-Lizard, which is a little wonky.
Yeah. So, and the interesting thing to note here as well, like if you look in the over the shoulder footage of us here playing, so you got to do the Shadow, like the level, the giant like
Space Colony Arc.
Yeah. So you got to do all that, and then I jumped into Shadow, and like I didn't realize that you could dash. And that was kind of the thing with the boss, was like you have to dash away right away.
Yeah.
And so I just kept like had my hands on the controller for the first time and like kept getting like just smashed in the face by this boss. And but it had that like trademark jank immediately, but it still was a lot of fun. And I think you saw how varied the level was.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, like it feels really different from Sonic's levels, I would say. Like Shadow just feels different. Like he has a homing attack, but it's not the same as Sonic's. Like, he teleports to an enemy, which is very...
Oh, yeah.
It's way more in line with his character. And obviously, this is the first real time that Chaos Control has just been like a normal mechanic in-game. Like, usually it's like just a set piece or something or part of a cutscene, but in this, if you collect enough rings, you'll power up a gauge, and then you can use Chaos Control to freeze time for 5 seconds.
Okay.
And that's great for like solving puzzles or doing platforming, or just, you know, if you're being attacked, you can pause time for a second, then get rid of all the enemies.
Yeah.
And it's a really neat implementation of that mechanic. So I think people who like Shadow will be really happy with that.
Yeah, and speaking of enemies too, it was really neat to see that they really pulled all those classic enemies from Sonic Adventure 2 back. At least they seem so familiar, like that kind of chaos looking thing that has like an android head.
Yeah.
They're so creepy, right? Do you remember if the spherical ones were in there too?
I don't remember seeing them in this one, no. But yeah, I hopefully will see them in another level, perhaps. But
Yeah.
those are the only 2 we've seen so far.
We don't know how long this campaign is supposed to be either yet, right?
Not
how many
yet.
missions or anything?
No, there's been like teasers of certain levels that are coming back. Like, I think we've seen snippets of Rail Canyon from Sonic Adventure 2,
Okay.
and yeah, so I don't know what other games they'll dive into, because obviously the Eye from Shadow the Hedgehog also
right.
makes an appearance, and you have to like chase him towards the end of Space Colony Arc, so that makes for a really fun like chase sequence, and blended with like some action and some quick time events where Shadow just punches a missile.
That's right.
It's so weird, and he's just like, they really get like how kind of over the top cheesy Sonic is, and Shadow as well, like in a way that's like, I don't want to say like early 2000s like emo kids, but it certainly does embrace that side of it that everyone loves about him.
Yeah.
So
You're right. This like kind of that level, like even though I didn't get to play that, it was so much fun watching you play it, because it did feel like every section was so different than the last, and like Sonic's Shadow is like falling through the sky, and like there's like this weird Spider-Verse kind of thing happening where
there's like
buildings everywhere that doesn't make any sense.
Dimension hopping, it feels like they go into like a Sonic 06 style level, and then you go back to Space Colony Arc. But there's also that like Mission Impossible sequence where you're like gliding down and you have to dodge all the lasers as well.
Right,
So yeah, like that one level of Shadow is like a really good showcase, I think, of what is to come with the rest of Sonic Shadow generations, especially like Shadow's campaign. So yeah, I think there's a lot to look forward to here.
I like what you were just saying as well about like the dimension hopping, as well as maybe we'll see like, because do we know if Shadow's going to be, you were saying, is it Red Canyon or something like that?
Rail Canyon.
Rail Canyon,
yeah.
okay. So yeah, I wonder if he's going to like, I hope Shadow doesn't find his way into Green Hill Zone, but like, I wonder kind of what more like level diversity we're going to get out of him as well. If he,
you know, what Sonic 06 levels could we get? What Shadow the Hedgehog levels could we get? Will we see Sonic and the Black Knight levels or something like that? I don't know. Like, I think it will stick closely to those 3 games, because that's where like Shadow lore kind of is, I guess. Like, and I think like it's going to reward people who are really, really into Shadow the Hedgehog as a character, and like it looks like he's going to have like a story of all on its own, separate from the Sonic Generations story of like trying to restore everybody back to color and life kind of thing. So I don't know what they're gonna do aside from the Rail Canyon level. I'm trying to think of like really good levels. I mean, everyone knows Radical Highway, right?
Oh,
from
right.
Adventure 2.
Was Speed Highway, was that like the Sonic version or something?
Highway,
or was that Adventure 1
Yeah,
maybe?
Speed Highway is Adventure 1, yeah.
It's always got to have a highway, I guess.
Always got to have some buildings, always got to run up buildings, I think. Yeah. But yeah, there's really good opportunities here to use Shadow, and I think Biolizard's one of the most iconic fights, but I'm sure Melphis will probably make an appearance. I don't know. The wings, maybe? That's like, what do we think? Do we think that's gonna make some kind of big story splash or something? Like, yeah, I think if you love Shadow, this is gonna be worth picking up. Hopefully we'll get some time with the Switch version at some point in the next couple of months, because
that was a big thing, right? It was like you and I both, when we were watching that trailer, like it, and it should be noted too, right, that the Sonic Generations and Sonic, the Shadow, like new campaign seem to be like, I don't want to say developed on different engines, but they look like completely separate games. Like, so the graphical fidelity of it is...
There's definitely like more visual variety, and you say graphical fidelity, because there's so much going on in like Shadow's levels.
Yeah.
Like, it does feel like it's been like developed from the ground up, whereas...
I agree.
The Sonic Generations part, they don't feel like a remake, but it's definitely like building upon what was already there. So yeah, the thing to note is that on PS5, like it seemed to be 60, steady 60 for Sonic, but Shadow, we did have a couple of like up and down frames and things like that. So I think the Switch will probably be 30, or if it's not, it's going to be like uncapped. So it's probably worth like keeping your expectations in check.
Even some of those, like I don't know if it's the like Ratchet and Clank on PlayStation 5. I've heard, you know, it kind of does some of that crazy dimension hopping because of what the PS5 is capable of. And I'm hoping that like that Shadow isn't like that there aren't like loading screens or something like that in the Switch version either.
That's true.
Because some of those transitions like between the like different backdrops were pretty wild. So yeah, it does have me worried about like how are they really going to make that happen. But you said it comes out in October.
October
right?
25th. Yeah, got a date at the Summer Game Fest live. So yeah, hopefully that's not far off really. So we're gonna get to play it soon.
Sweet.
Will Shadow have a gun?
Ooh, he
Shadow
has
have a gun.
I want to say he has to, but but I think I don't want to not see him with one at some point. Or what if he picks it up and he's like, huh? And then he like
throws it away. It's like, maybe the motorbike will show up too. We'll see.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, a motorbike level or something. Yeah.
I mean, the way that I haven't been this excited for Shadow in a long time. Like my brother's obsessed. Well, he's not obsessed with Shadow, but he really liked Shadow growing up. And I was the kid that like was becoming too old for Sonic. You know, it's like the kids that like grow out of Pokemon or whatever. But my brother was the Shadow kid, and so I kind of looked at it differently, I think.
Yeah.
And but I'm really excited about Shadow now after this. It really like the year of Shadow kind of it makes I don't know. It's like it's a goosebump. Very nice feeling.
It's exciting for us who grew up with those Dreamcast games. I think we saw Shadow come into the Sonic world, and now he's back.
And he was awesome. And then he kind of got like, I don't know, he just didn't have he didn't have as much purpose, or maybe I didn't like, I didn't play Sonic 06.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen some of the more like important moments and didn't play Shadow either. But but yeah, he's always just kind of lately has felt like just another character to maybe put in Monkey Ball, or I know he's not in, he has like a hoodie in Superstars or something.
Oh, something
right?
like
but he's
weird,
not. Yeah, he maybe isn't even playable if I remember right. But.
Yeah, he makes an appearance in Smash as well, like in the background.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, that's true.
Otherwise, he's just like another character in the Sonic world, in the same vein that like, I don't know, Rouge the Bat or anyone like that. So maybe we'll see some of those as well.
Yeah, he's just living in Sonic Shadow.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But you're right. It would be cool to see Rouge, and I don't know if other characters will appear as well.
Yeah, I think they make an appearance in base generations, but whether they come up in Shadow's campaign as well will be interesting. But at the moment, it's all Shadow's show so far on his side of the coin. So yeah,
that's true. Sweet. Well, thanks for being here. Obviously, you've written a preview already on the website. So if you want to hear like more refined notes, the whole thing is up there. We'll have it in the description below, and hopefully we'll be doing more videos like this when we play more cool stuff that is coming to Switch. So let us know in the comments down below what you think about Sonic X Shadow Generations. If you're going to be picking it up on Switch or a different system, or if you're waiting for footage. And let us know if you want us to cover it more as well, because it's important to know that kind of stuff. So thank you again. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Zian from Nintendo Life. This is Alana. Stay safe out there, and we will see you all next time.
See you later.